Okay, we talked yesterday about the tangents. Okay, now we're going to do secants, tangents, and angle measures. Okay, first thing the author defines is a secant line. A secant line is a line that intersects the circle in exactly 2 points. If you look at the picture, a secant line, secant comes from the Latin word secare, which means to cut. So the secant line, remember a tangent line just touched the circle in 1 point. A secant line actually cuts through the circle. If we did not have this part or this part, what would this part be called? That would be a chord. Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk about secants in here. Theorem 1012, if two secants intersect in the interior of a circle, then the measure of an angle formed is half, highlight that or circle it, is half the sum of the measures of the arcs intercepted by that angle and its vertical angle. So, as an example, look at the picture. You look at the picture. Okay, the measure of angle 1. This angle is half this arc, AC, and its vertical arc over here, BD. So you add those two arcs together, and then take half of it. Yep. And angle 2 would be half of that. The arcs, yeah. So they would give you, like if I said this arc was 50 and this arc was 10. So you'd add those two together and then divide by 2. And 2, yep, that's the measure of angle 1. If you look at this one, angle 2 would be the sum, take the sum of this arc AD and the sum of this arc CD, and then take half of it. Okay? Don't make that hard. Okay. Go down to the next one. Theorem 10.13. What happens if we have, that was two secants up above. What happens if you have a secant and a tangent? If a secant and a tangent intersect at the point of tangency. Okay, here's my tangent. It's tangent at this point. Touches the circle at that point. This would be the secant. It cuts the circle. Okay, if a secant and a tangent intersect at the point of tangency, then the measure of each angle formed is half the measure of its intercepted arc. So now look at the picture for a minute. Measure of arc A, D, B. A, D, B. Okay, this arc. Okay, for example, first if I give you this is 102, all the way around the circle's how much? 360. So first you'd find this arc, you'd subtract and find that arc to be 258. So label that on your picture. If this arc outside here is 258, okay, then this A, B, C, this angle in here is half of that. So half of 258.
So the angle doesn't necessarily have to stay in a circle.
No. No. Okay. Okay. 129. 129. Okay. Any questions on that one? If that angle is 129, what does a straight angle add up to? 180. So you could subtract it from 180 and find this one right here, right? Okay. Good enough? Okay, theorem 10.14. If two secants, a secant and a tangent, or two tangents, intersect in the exterior of a circle, then the measure of the angle formed is half the positive difference of the measures of the intercepted arcs. Okay, for example, I've got two what here? Two what type of lines? Two secants. So on this one I'm looking at two secants. Okay, and they intersect outside the circle. Okay? Right. When you write it out, I prefer you still write it in algebra form. So x equals, okay, 1/2 the positive difference. So I want the bigger arc to come first, right? So make it look like algebra, okay? Right? So half of that would be 35, right? Don't make it a negative number. Don't take 50 minus 120, the larger one, okay? Everybody okay with that example? Okay, go to the next one. I left off an arrow here. That should have an arrow on it. Okay, now what type of lines? A tangent. This one's the tangent because it just touches, and this one's the secant. Okay, if they intersect outside the circle, okay, then x equals half the difference. So you want to take the 200 minus 40. Yep, don't make these hard. X equals half of 160. So x is 80, right? Okay, so there we've done two secants. We've done a secant and a tangent. Okay, now, if they change it, oh my gosh, you think you've got this figured out, and then the author gives you this number. Okay, he's given you the x, right? He's given you the outside part. Okay, so then 62 equals, yeah, 141 minus the x. How do you get rid of the half? Multiply by 2, so this is going to be equals 141 minus x. Now, you have a choice on this. I would probably subtract the 141. Okay, and you still have to bring down the negative sign, the negative x, and you should end up with a negative if you subtracted that. Take the difference in the sign of the larger, negative 17, and then multiply by negative 1 or divide by negative 1 on both sides, and your x is 17. Okay, but it makes a difference on this. You got to pay attention. Are they giving you this part, or are they giving you, okay, which part of that they're giving you? Okay, good enough? Don't make these hard. Okay, give you time to work. Wait, one more. I need to go through